Yes? Okay. All right, so what I would like you to do to start off our lesson, because it's Monday and we kind of had 2 days off, can you create me a some went away story problem? Writing it in words. Can you write one down for me? A some went away.
I did.
About 3 minutes, okay? Just so that hopefully we have, enough time. What?
They didn't put the paper.
Second grade.
Oh, you chocolate.
Okay.
Oh, it must be silly.
Yeah.
The papers as we go on.
I do like the bag.
It's okay.
Please stop showing on it. Your mask on. Something on the way. Something went away right here because it's wet. Here's story right there. Some went away. So in words, some went away. So
One.
the number.
Mom had 3
How's it going? We getting it done? Yeah.
Yes. Box. 2 T W O T.
I like to try. And I say try.
T W O 2 balls. 2 balls.
Okay, about another minute.
Balls. 2 balls. R R O R. R O R R G G G Ga ga ga. Done, Miss Flugence.
Okay. Okay, are we ready to share?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Avia's ready, so I'll let him share his. Y'all can continue to work on yours, and then I'll let you share. Go ahead, Avia.
So my sentence says, Mom had 3 balls. 2 balls are gone.
Good. And so how many does she have remaining?
She now has 2.
Wait, did she get rid of 2 or 1?
She get rid of 2.
And she had 3?
Yes.
So 3 minus 2 is 1.
minus 2 is 1.
Yeah, good. Okay, good. Dennis or Joshua, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Kinley's gonna share hers.
I had $6. I was and that guy took 1. 6 minus 1.
5.
5.
Good. So she had 6 and then lost 1. Now she has 5. Good. Faith, you have one? Okay.
Molly had 4 toys and she gave
How many did she start with? She had 4 toys and gave 2 away. Awesome. All right, good. Okay. Joshua, Dennis, or Caitlin, ready? Not yet? Still working, okay. I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of what some went away is.
How much are Miss Nugents, I'm done with mine.
Okay, you can tell me. You can tell it to me.
My cat ate a treat. 10.
Wait, say it again.
My cat ate a treat. 10.
So he had 10 and he ate 3?
No. He had 10, then he had 0.
Okay. Okay. Dennis, are you ready?
I'm ready. Oh, help and break your name.
Okay, so Joshua, that was it?
And me and my cat went. What? Let me just tell you. And we went to go play.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right, Dennis.
There were 5 beach balls and 2 popped. There were 3 left.
All right, good. Okay. And Taylor, you have yours?
Yeah. I had
How many?
$27 and then I gave away 1 and I have $26.
Okay, good. She had 27 and gave away 1. And now she has 26. Okay. Awesome. I just wanted to make sure that we remember how to create a story problem. Some went away. You'll kind of focus more on those this week in your book. Some went away versus the some more. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of board work. So go ahead and look at my pennies up here. Can you count how many I have? Don't say the answer out loud. Just count them first, okay? Don't say the answer. Just count.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Yes. Nine.
All right, Joshua, how many? How much money?
9.
9, how what? 9
cents.
Good. 9 cents. Okay. All right, next one. Can you count how many for this one?
3 cents.
Remember, guys, we don't want to say the answer out loud. Okay, Faith?
5 cents.
5 cents. Good. So just remember, counting pennies are pretty easy. Only thing that you have to remember is to say cents, okay? Because when we're counting coins, counting money, we say cents. And then when we move on to dollar bills, we have to say dollars. So just always remember, whenever you count money, that you have to write the cent symbol and you also say cents as well, okay? All right, let's go ahead and look at my square here. I want to go ahead and divide it in half. Could anyone explain to me, what does that mean to divide something in half? Half. Divide something in half. Dennis, could you explain to me what it means to divide something in half?
To divide things in half, you put a line in the middle.
Okay, so like that is true, but when I'm dividing something in half, like how am I splitting it? That's what I'm asking. When I divide something in half, huh?
With a line in the middle.
Okay, so when I do that, how many pieces am I making? 2. Good. So whenever I divide something in half, I put a line down the middle to split it into 2 pieces. Good. That's how we divide in half. The line has to be down the middle. It cannot be anywhere else. It has to be in the middle, and both sides have to be equal. That's another thing about half. Both sides have to be equal. I can't split it and then one side is small like this and the other side is huge. No, it has to be the same size on both sides. Good. Okay. Okay, next I have some people here in line. Let's talk about ordinal position. Remember, ordinal means it's a type of number that we say, usually when dealing with position. We'll use ordinal numbers with the calendar sometimes. Whenever like you use the calendar, like today is the 27th. Whenever you say that ST or that TH sound on a number, that's called an ordinal number. So who is first in line? First means that they're number what?
1.
First means that I'm number 1. What about second? What does that mean? I'm number
2.
Second means I'm number 2. What about fifth? If I say that I'm fifth in line, I'm number 5. Yes. Fifth, number 5. Fifth. If I am third in line, I am number
3. Third.
4.
If I am 4 in line, fourth, I'm number
4.
Good. Awesome. Okay. So remember the ordinal numbers: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and you keep on going. Okay. All right. Let's go over some math facts. All right. So remember, we are learning the doubles facts currently. It's when we're adding the same number 2 times. These are called the doubles facts. So we've learned 1 to 5, and then last week we introduced 6 all the way to 10. So those are the bigger ones, the harder ones, I guess you could say. Okay, so let's go through them. So let's start with Faith. Could you read the fact and give us the answer?
9 plus 9.
Equals
21.
not 21. 9 plus 9. Try again. 9 plus 9. Okay, could someone help Faith out? Who knows what 9 plus 9 is?
18.
18. Good. 9 plus 9 is 18. Can everyone say that? 9 plus 9 equals 18, 18, 18. Good. Okay, Dennis, next fact. Can you read it and give us the answer?
2 plus 2 equals 4.
Good. Can everyone say that? 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4, 4. Good. Okay, Kinley, can you give us this one?
2.
Good. Let's say it. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Okay. Next fact. We have 8 and 8. Joshua. Okay, Joshua. You can do this one. 8 plus 8. Joshua, you can do this fact for us?
I was on mute.
Okay, 8 plus 8.
Not 19.
Not 19. Try again.
61.
Okay, can someone help him out a little bit? What is 8 plus 8? Say 9. Can we? 16. Let's say it together. 8 plus 8 equals 16. Good. All right, Taylor, 6 plus 6.
Okay, 6 plus 6 equals 3.
I'm not sure about that. Can you try again? 6 plus 6? You have 6, and then you're adding 6 more.
Six more. 10.
Okay, can someone help Taylor out? What is 6 plus 6? Dennis.
12.
12. Let's say it. 6 plus 6 equals 12, 12, 12. Good, okay? Next we have Avaya. You're on mute.
4 plus 4 equals 8. 8. 8.
Okay, everybody. 4
plus 4
equals
8. 8.
Good. All right, back to you, Faith. 7 plus 7.
7 plus 7.
I have 7, and I'm adding 7 more. Not 16. Too high. Could anyone help her out? 7 plus 7.
I can.
7 plus 7.
It's 17.
Kinley?
It is 14.
14. Let's say it. 7 plus 7 equals 14, 14, 14. Okay? Let's see. Dennis, go ahead and do this one.
3 plus 3 equals 6.
Everyone, 3 plus 3 equals 6, 6, 6. Okay. Oh, not that one. All right. And Taylin, let's do this one.
1 plus 1 is 2, 2.
Everybody, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2, 2. Awesome. Good. So these are our doubles facts. Let's go over them one more time, but I'll show the answers this time to make it a little quicker, okay? All right, let's start with 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2, 2, 2. 3 plus 3 equals 6, 6, 6. 4 plus 4 equals 8, 8, 8. 6 plus 6 equals 12, 12, 12. 8 plus 8 equals 16, 16, 16. 5 plus 5 equals 10, 10, 10. Sorry, 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4, 4. 9 plus 9 equals 18, 18, 18. 7 plus 7 equals 14, 14, 14. Awesome. Good job. Okay. Great job, guys. All right, let's go ahead and move on from math, and we are going to move on to writing. You need a little sleep paper today for writing. Well done. Okay. All right, so this week in writing, we are going to focus on proper nouns again. As usual, we'll do that for a couple of weeks. Probably next week will be our last week. But this week, we're going to do proper nouns of people again. But this time, we're going to do proper nouns of people with their first and last name. So everyone has 2 names. Some people have 3. Some people have more. But most people, we know them by their 2 names. Their first name and what we call their last name, okay? Does everyone know their first name and their last name? Yes, Dennis, what's your first name and last name?
Dennis Stewart.
Wait, what? Oh, I couldn't hear. Hold on. I'm sorry, Dennis. What did you say?
Dennis Stewart.
Good. Dennis Stewart. That's his first name, Dennis, and his last name is Stewart. Good. Okay, Joshua, what's your first and last name? Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, okay.
Joshua Collins Jr.
Good, Joshua Collins Jr. And he's a junior, so that's why he has that at the end of his name. And Dennis, you're a 3rd, right? That's why they call you D3, right? Yeah. Okay, and Avaya, what's your first and last name? Unmute. Yeah. Okay.
My first name is Avaya and my last name is Jeter.
Avaya Jeter. Good. So everyone has a first name and a last name. So just like when you have your first name, you have to capitalize it. Guess what? When you write your last name, guess what you have to do? Capitalize it. So that's what we're going to focus on this week, is capitalizing both the first name and the last name. And we'll put some proper nouns in there places too. But today I want to just focus on proper nouns of names. So you capitalize your first name and you also capitalize your last name. Do you see I changed your names on the screen? It's your first and last name now? Yeah. All right. So Caitlin, what's your first name and last name? What's your first name? What's your first name? What's your name? What's your name? Okay, and what's your last name? Karen. Caitlin, Karen. That's your first and last name. Good. Faith, first and last name. First name? Last name. Currington. Good. Kinley, what's your first and last name? Kinley Barber. Good. So everyone, and we do have middle names too. And so, of course, you will capitalize your middle name as well. But today we'll just do first and last name. Most of the time, we don't call people by their whole name. We don't say the full name of people. We usually just say the first and last name, okay? So that's what we'll focus on this week. So let's look at my number one up here, okay? It says, John Green is my brother. Let me read it again. John Green is my brother. So we know that John is a first name. I'm sure you've heard the name John before. We have the book of John in the Bible, and he was a disciple. John, and we have John Baptist, and Green is the last name. Some people have the last name Green. Some people's last names are colors. Yeah. So John Green is my brother. So we know his first name is John. His last name is Green. How should we write both of them? With a capital letter. So go ahead and do number one. John Green is my brother. That's a J and a G. John J. Green G. Okay, we getting there?
I got there.
Okay.
I'm almost there.
All right.
The oven in there.
Sit on the carpet.
Ready? So everybody has to do the first one?
Yeah, whenever we're ready. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and discuss the first one. John Green is my brother. Okay, Kinley, go ahead. Tell us, how do we write this sentence the correct way?
So you capitalize J.
Capitalize our first letter, J, of course. Not only because it's a man's name, but because it's the first letter.
And capitalize the G.
And capitalize the G. That's his last name. We capitalize his first and last name. And how do I finish it?
With a period.
Good. With a period. Awesome. Did everyone do that? Or were you thinking about doing that if you didn't finish?
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I capitalized.
All right, let's look at number two. Tyler Jones played with me. Tyler Jones played with me. Let's look at the first name. What's the first name? Tyler. Last name is Jones. So we capitalize that. Go ahead.
I want me.
Mm-hmm.
Flugence. Miss Flugence.
Yes.
I can't see the other words.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I was sitting in the way. Okay. Okay. Is anybody ready to give us this one?
I'm writing. I want to.
No? You still writing? Okay. I'll give you 30 more seconds.
Can't figure out this word.
Pennsylvania.
It's Pennsylvania.
For what? You don't have to do a checkup today. We'll do it tomorrow. All right. So let's go ahead. Well, yeah, because, okay, go ahead. Okay, Faith, tell us how do we write this correct? Tyler Jones, play with me.
T.
Capitalize the T.
Jones.
And the J in Jones, and finish with a
Period.
good. Okay, number 3. My doctor is Roy Brown. My doctor is Roy Brown. Do we see the first and last name?
Yes.
Roy Brown. Okay, write this one correctly. My doctor is Roy Brown.
I'm done. Doctor is Roy. Roy. O W
We're not writing. We're not doing the chapter checkup. I think Evan had said that.
No, it's for not.
Yes, but we're not doing the checkup. Y'all can just answer the questions.
Mom, can you come here? So I don't think they want me to.
Okay, lesson number 3. My doctor is Roy Brown. Anybody's ready to correct this one? Okay, go ahead, Taylin.
So the M is capital.
Capitalize first letter, always M.
And capitalize the B.
The B, something else we capitalize.
And the R.
The R for Roy, and then finish with a
period.
Good. My doctor is Roy Brown. Awesome. Okay, let's do a number 4. Okay.
Capitalize the M and capitalize the.
Okay, so number 4, you're going to write your first and last name. So it's okay if you're not familiar how to spell them well, or you may, I don't know, but so that's what you're going to write for number 4. So my name is, and then put your first and last name. I just put a line because that's where you're going to put your name. So you don't have to draw this line. That's just where you put your name. So my name is, and then write on the line and show it to me on the screen when you're done, okay?
Done. Well, she knows when I'm done since I'm not writing anymore. They see my sense I'm still writing. Miss Moody's, I'm done.
Okay, sorry, I thought I was unmuted. I said whenever you were done, you can show it to me on the screen.
I can't do it.
Okay, I see it. Good, Abaya and Joshua. Okay, Dennis, are you ready? Not yet? Still working? Okay.
Yeah, that's a way. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So that's what we'll focus on this week in writing, capitalizing our first and last name, okay? Or when you see a first and last name in a sentence, what to do with it, you capitalize it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to phonics. We'll go over chart 7 today. I'll put it up here for you. Okay, here we go, chart 7. All right, ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. BR says burr, burr, burr in bride. DR says jur, jur, jur in drum. PR says purr, purr, purr in pray. GR says gur, gur, gur in grin. SM says sm, sm, sm in smoke. Sit up and put your pencils in the middle. SC says and scat. SK says sk, 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 and skate. ST says and fade. CR says cur in craft. TW says twa in twins. SPL says spool in splash. SPR says spur in sprain. SCR says skr in scream. SQU says squawk in squeak. SN says in snack. SL says slow in sleep. STR says stir in stream. SW says swap in swim. Okay, so that's phonics chart 7. Today we are going to focus on special sound SCR, skr, and SQU, squab. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at that here on the board. The words in green, SCR, skr, SQU, squab. Let's go ahead and mark some sounds. Okay, would anyone like to walk us through this one? Go ahead, Caitlin, what am I circling?
Okay, it's X. It's C.
R, SCR. How do I mark the A? It's only one vowel.
It's smiley face.
Okay, A. What's the word?
Scrap.
Scrap. Okay, good. Next one. Okay, go ahead, Dennis. What's my special sound?
SAU.
SQU. How do I mark the I?
With a smiley face.
It. What's the word? It. The I says it.
It. Squid.
Squid. Thank you. Okay, next one. Here, Kinley.
You circle SCR.
SCR. How do I mark the U?
Put a smiley.
Good. What's the word?
Scrub.
Scrub. Good. Next one here. Anybody?
Me.
Faith.
Circle SQ.
Mm-hmm.
And SH.
Good. How do I mark the I?
Put a smiley face.
Good. What's the word?
Squish.
Good. Squish. Okay. Next one here. Anyone? Avaya, let's do this one here. You have to unmute yourself.
Circle SCR.
SCR, how do I mark the vowels?
Cross out the E and make a line over the E.
What's the word?
And the word is
Great. Okay, Joshua, can you do this one?
Yes. Circle SPU.
SQU, squad. How do I mark the vowels?
And you cross that E, make a line over that E.
Good. What's the word?
Squawk.
Look at
Squeak.
that E.
Squeeze.
The squeeze and then the Z.
Squeeze.
Squeeze. Good. Okay. Awesome. So that special sound STR, stir, and SQU, squad. All right, let's go ahead and look at some rhyming words. So remember, in order for a word to rhyme, it has to have the same ending sound. It's what you hear at the end of the word, okay? So it's not about the first letter because a lot of times the first letter won't matter. It's really what you hear at the end, that ending sound, the last sound at the back of the word. Okay? So I have hip. What are words? Please raise your hand that rhyme with hip. Ip, hip, hip, ip. Kip. If you remember, we read a story about the dog named Kip. Kip and Chip.
I said Chip. I said clip.
Kip, chip. We can say dip, sip, rip. All of those. Good. Dime. Like a coin. A dime. Dime. What's the word that rhymes with dime?
Chime. Chime.
Chime. What's another?
Chime.
Chime, you said? Good. And chime. Next we have sell. Sell. What's a word that sounds just like L? L. Sell. Avaya. Unmute.
Pale.
Pale. Pale. Okay, what's another one that rhymes with sail? Pale.
Tail.
Well. Fail. Tell. Bell. All of those sound just like sail. Good. All right, let's go ahead and mark some words here. So we can just say it out loud. We're not going to call it one at a time. So if you can unmute your screen so that you can say it. So first word, what am I marking?
Zag.
A.
I put a smiley face over A. What's the word?
Zag.
Zag. Zag. Okay, next one. What am I doing?
S-H.
Circle S H.
It has an H. Cross out D. And
Good. Line over A. Cross out E. What's the word?
Shade.
Shade. Next one. What am I marking? What am I doing?
U. Huh?
For this one, what am I doing?
U.
What am I doing to the U?
You put a smiley face.
Smiley face over U. What's the word?
Clue.
I'm right here on the F-U-Z-Z.
Oh. Fuse. Fuse.
But U says Buzz. Okay, next one. What am I doing? What am I doing, y'all? Circle CL. And TH. How do I mark the good. Next one. Smiley face on I. What's the word? Will. Next one. What am I doing? Circle FL. How to mark the vowels?
Plus
Long U. Silent E. What's the word? Flu. Next one, how do I mark the U? Smiley face, what's the word? Bus. And last one, what am I circling? CR, CH, crunch. Good, okay? So just always make sure that you're practicing how to mark vowels, how to circle the special sounds, identify them. That's why we're learning all the charts and how to mark vowels. This helps us to read, especially when we run across a word we are not familiar with. This will help with that. Okay, good. All right, so go ahead and get out your spelling. Let's discuss your spelling list this week. We are on list 6, which is on page 12. And I'll introduce your Greek and Latin this week. So list 6, page 12.
Which one we on? 12. Oh. Spelling book 7 is super easy. It's like
so yes, list 6 this week is pretty simple. It's a lot of the double letter words that FF, LL, you know, those kind of words, SS. So remember we did talk about this like weeks ago. Whenever we run across a word that has double letters, we only say the sound one time. So like the first word is cuff. I wouldn't say cuff. I would just say cuff. Okay. So let's go ahead and go over our words this week. Please point to them as we go through them. And I do want you to spell them. That's why we're going over it together. Give me this so that you can focus on your book. Go ahead and look in your book. Okay, first word is cuff. You say it. Cuff. Let's spell it. C-U-F-F. Cuff. Next word is puff. You say it. Puff. Spell P-U-F-F. Puff. Next word is stuff. You say it. Stuff. Spell S-T-U-F-F. Stuff. Next word is sniff. Sniff. S-N-I-F-F. Sniff. Next word, cross. C-R-O-S-S. Cross. Guys, I feel like I'm the only one saying it.
I'm saying it. Me too.
Are you on mute?
No.
We're on cross, and we're on the top row. We're going to the last word on the top row. We say it, then we spell it, then we say it again. Next word, let's say it together. Bless, spell B-L-E-S-S. Bless. Next row, will. W-I-L-L. Will. Next word, well. W-E-L-L. Well. Next word, bell. B-E-L-L. Bell. Next one, doll. D-O-L-L. Doll. Your sight words, you. I-O-U. You. Good. And of. O-F. Of. All right, I'll go ahead and show you your Greek and Latin for this week. So your Greek word is tella. If you look here, tella. T-E-L-E. Tella. And it means far away, distant. Okay, so could you say that after me? Tella. Let's spell it. T-E-L-E. Tella. And it means far away, distant.
Far away distance.
Yes, like if you say a telephone, it's phone means graph, which we'll get. I think you learned phone in a second grade. But anyway, telephone is something that we use to talk to someone far away. See, far away. Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, Latin word this week is verbum. Verbum. Let's spell it. V-E-R-B-U-M. Verbum, and it means word. Okay, a verb, that's a word. It does an action. But yes, we get to verbs later this year. So verbum means word. So we have tella, which means far away, distant. and verbum, which means word. Those are your Greek and Latin words this week. So we're still at 14 words. Maybe next week I'll go to 15. But anyway, so yeah, so that's your spelling list this week. You have to write those. I'm sure your parents will have you do that a little later today to practice your words. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our reading book, Tiptoes. Okay, Tiptoes, page 18. Yes.
Why is my book super cold? Mine is cold. Mine is cold too. No, it's not. Oh my Lord. That's my.
This you need, but you're going to have to show you how to do this right.
Mine is cold. Mine is hot. It's really burning. Feel it. And it's cold. Yeah, you wasn't listening, Faith. He said 18. Faith, see, I told you. You didn't even listen. I heard her say 18.
Taylor, we're on Zoom.
Do we get a science book too? 18. She's like, no,
Yeah, you may need it, but I don't think you're going to get to that part today.
Wait, we almost done with this book. Where? No, we're not. We almost, we're about, this is a new book, you know? What was 18, I'm looking for 18. This is 18.
Now go to the back. Hold on.
177. This is 177. Yeah. No, it's not. Where's 124? That's hard. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here.
Okay, so let me see your book.
Say.
So for this one, you have to make sure to follow it correctly. Okay.
That's a bad word. Not calling.
Okay, so the colonies, this is what we have a test on next Friday. All how we have to identify each one. So you have to make sure to pay attention to I'm gonna put lines.
Well, it's
with them.
close, but you
Which
just
one
don't
is
know
which?
how to
You
say
can look
it,
at
right?
the pattern. So you see the ones that's like this line in them, they have to be yellow.
It's Carmen. And Yudi's name, Chili Bible.
They have to be
Chili
the lines like that is the New England colonies. Blue.
That's the
The dots. The middle colonies.
My name is
Those are
Kenny
red.
Sock.
And then southern colonies down here.
You said that was orange.
Don't follow this color. Do not follow this color.
No, it's Kenny.
You have to do it on here. I'm just putting it here so you can see which states they are, which we'll talk about that later.
You said, now I know what to do. That's so. No, I did not. That was fine.
What page is it in your book?
That's not Kenny Bible.
Yes.
It's Kenny Bible,
This you
right?
want to take home today to study because this is what you'll test on the next day.
Right? It's Kenny Bible. It's not in Kenny Bible or Kenny Sock. It's his name. Sock.
No, your choices right now. Okay, page 18. I had already said that.
Go to
Lost
page
Mike.
18. Lost Mike.
Go ahead, Kinley. He's going to read for us first. Lost Mike.
Mike is lost. He cannot see his mom. His mom is in the cave. No, his mom is not in the cave. Did his mom take a bite right up the road?
Good. Okay, so Mike has a problem. What is his problem? He's what?
He's lost.
He's lost. And who is he looking for?
Mom.
His mom, right? And so the first place he looks is the cave. Was mom there?
No.
Nope. Let's see. Okay, 19. Anyone like to read 19?
Me.
Okay, go ahead, Avaya. Unmute. You have to unmute first.
No, this mom is not on the bike. Did his mom hide in the pile of leaves? No, his mom is not in the leaf pile. Did his mom take a nap in the hen's nest?
Okay, so he doesn't find mom in the cave. So where does he look next?
He looks in the pile of leaves.
In the pile of leaves. Was mom there?
No.
Nope, mom was not there in the pile of leaves, right? And so next he looks in the hen's nest. Let's turn the page to see if she was there. Page 20. Okay, Faith. Okay.
No, his mom is not in the hen's nest. Wait, I see Mike's mom. His mom is in the tree. Mike's mom is glad to see him, and Mike is glad to see his mom.
Good. So Mike finds her, and where is mom?
In the nest.
She wasn't in the hen's nest.
The tree.
In the tree, right? She was in the tree. So this whole time, if you look at the picture, it kind of looks like their house, right?
Yeah.
So that means Mike's mom was where?
In
home. She was home the whole time. All right, let's go to page 22.
Could I do this one? No, it's not. What page are we going to?
22. Okay, so we have S, suffix S, which we'll get to that soon in our phonics lesson. But that's just adding S to the end of words. Okay, Dennis, can you read the words for us in the yellow box? You have to unmute first.
One cat, two cats, one dog, six dogs, one bee, two bees.
Good, okay. And let's read the words at the bottom.
Cats,
go ahead. You can go ahead. That's fine. I'm gonna let you
cats and dogs and pigs and hens. It's time to feed the ducks and hens.
Good, okay. And let's look at 23. All right, yes, come on. Okay, Taylor's gonna read the bottom.
God made the rain. God made the sun. God made
God gave.
God gave us. Leaves.
Look at that.
Left.
Legs.
Got to hop and run.
Good. Awesome. So God made the rain, God made the sun, God gave his legs to hop and run. Awesome. All right, so this is where we're stopping today in our book. Tomorrow we'll go, tomorrow, Max and Tex, okay? All right, awesome. Good job with reading about Mike's mom, and he found her. All right, go ahead and get out your science. Science page 22. 22.
I think I already read this page. My tongue, little member. Miss Flugence, can I read this page?
I'll go over them today. Thank you, though.
Oh, yeah, I already read this one.
Okay. Okay, page 22.
Maybe too much here. Let me just
Okay, so we've been learning about the 5 senses, right? We have 5 of them. We've done sight and hearing, so that's 2 of them we've done so far. And we've done, and smell we did last week, so that's 3 senses we've covered. So today we'll do our 4th sense. Okay, so this sense I think is most people's favorite sense because this one we use this one a lot, right? And most people enjoy this thing, and without the sense, we wouldn't be able to enjoy it. Okay, so we're going to talk about our tongues on today. And the sense that we get from our tongue would be taste. We can taste because of our tongues. Okay, page 22. Oh boy, ice cream. Strawberry is my favorite flavor. What kind do you like best? So we all have a favorite ice cream flavor, or just a flavor of anything, or that thing that your parents may cook that you love, or that restaurant that you love so much. We all have something that we love to eat. We can close our eyes and we can chew it and we still would know exactly what we're eating, and that's because of our tongues. Our tongues is God's wonderful gift to us, and so we are able to enjoy food and how it tastes because of our tongues. If we did not have a tongue, we would not be able to taste. So the Lord gave us tongues so that we could taste all the delicious foods that we like. Okay, let's look at 23. So God put taste buds on my tongue. So this is how it works. We do have our tongues, but God put what's called taste buds on the tongue. The taste buds are what help us to taste something. We have 4 types of taste buds. The 4 tastes: sweet, when we taste something sweet; sour, salty, and bitter. So that's the 4 tastes that we have: sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. So we're able to taste things and tell if it's sweet, sour, salty, or bitter because of our taste buds. So if we put some French fries in our mouth, we could say this is salty because of the salt on the fries, but our taste buds tasted the salt. We can eat a piece of candy and say, oh, this is sweet. That's because of the taste buds on our tongue. So the 4 tastes that we have are sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. And those are the taste buds, and we're able to taste things because of those. Okay, let's go to 24. Continue talking about our tongue. Okay, so this is an activity maybe you and your parents can do at home, where you blindfold yourself and you have foods and you can try to guess what the food is from the taste. Okay, let's look at 25. My tongue helps me to speak. So just like the nose gave us two things, helped us to do two things. Our nose helps us to smell and to breathe. The tongue also helps you to do two things. We can taste because of our tongues, but we also have the ability to speak because of our tongues. So we are able to say words like how I am saying right now, or if someone asks you a question, you're able to talk and speak because of our tongue. Our tongue helps us to form words. If we did not have a tongue, we wouldn't be able to speak. The tongue would just sit there and it would sound like, it wouldn't sound like anything, right? So we are able to speak because of our tongues, okay? So although our tongue is little, the Bible tells us that in James 3:5 that the tongue is a little member, but it boasted great things. What that means is though the tongue is so small, it's super powerful. Why? Because the words that we speak come from our tongue. So we want to say kind words, uplifting words, and good things. We want to use our tongues for the right thing. We want to say the right things. We don't want to use our tongues to be mean to people, to say bad things. We don't want to do that. We want to use our tongues so that we can speak kindness. We can speak God's word. So yes, the tongue is little, but it's super powerful. There is power of life and death in the tongue, in our words. So we want to make sure that we use our tongues to say the right thing. Okay, so our tongues does help us taste. So we can eat good food because of our tongues, but we also use our tongues to speak as well, and we want to use it the right way. Okay, let's look at 26.
1 and 2.
2 and 1. I have 2 ears and only one mouth, which is true. We all have 2 ears, only one mouth though. The reason I think it's clear, it teaches me that I will not do to talk about all I hear. I have 2 eyes, but only one mouth. The reason of this must be that I should learn it will not do to talk about all that I see. I have 2 hands and only one mouth, and it is worth repeating. The 2 are for work that I need to do, the 1 for eating. So it's just a little poem that talks about just how we want to use our mouth. We only have 1 for a reason because we have to use it wisely. Remember, God gave us 2 eyes, 2 ears. He gave us 2 nostrils, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 feet, but then 1 mouth. That's because the Lord wants us to be wise with this part here. To be careful what we say. Okay, so that's our 4th sense this week, which is taste we get from our tongue. So that's our science. Let's go ahead and move on to social studies.
I saw social right here. This is social.
Okay, page 23.
Okay, page.
Yes.
I'm on 24. 23.
What page, Miss Nugent?
23. Social studies 23.
I'm on 23.
Okay.
Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it though. Okay, so we're going to talk about someone. His name is George Washington. I'm sure everyone's heard of George Washington before. So America went from, the Pilgrims being here, and then eventually when the Pilgrims got here, more people started to come to America because they realized that this was a great place for them to be, and there was a lot of opportunity for them in America. So eventually they formed what's called the 13 colonies. Remember whenever we did the flag, we talked about the 13 stripes because of the first 13 states? Well, that's the 13 states. They weren't called states at the time. They were called colonies, okay? So as the colonies began to grow, remember the Pilgrims were from England, and the people in England sort of kind of had control over the people here in the colonies. Well, a time came where the people here that were living in the colonies in America, they wanted to become free from England. right? They did not want England to control them anymore and to have a say in their laws and just different things like that. So they decided to become free from England. Well, of course, England did not say, oh yeah, go ahead and be free. England said, nope, we're not letting you go. But the people in America said, we want to be free. So they had a war, okay? They had this big war. The War for American Independence is the name of the war. Revolutionary War, all the same. So they decided to have this big war and to fight each other. And George Washington, the man here, is the one who was a general. He was a leader in this war. So he led a lot of the soldiers in this war. So let's talk about this man, George Washington, and how because he led the people in the war, what eventually happened for him. So let's look at 23, George Washington. The man who led our army in the war that won our freedom from England was named George Washington. So he was known as a general, which is a leader in the army. He was known as that initially. People heard of his name. That wasn't the first war he was in. He had the French and Indian War that he was a part of as well. But this is the war that he led. And because America won, that meant that George Washington was a good leader. So the people, you know, they respected him because of that. He was a brave and honest leader who helped the soldiers to keep going when they wanted to give up. George Washington had deep faith in God. So he grew up on a farm in Virginia, and he learned how to work very hard then. He loved the outdoors, which was perfect for him as a soldier, and he enjoyed exploring. So eventually, after time, he was selected as a general to lead the army in the war against England. And America won. 24. Turn to page 24. Okay. So the America ended up winning the war. And so George Washington, because he did all of that, he led the army. He was really respected and honored by the people, and people trusted him because of his courage, how he was courageous and he was honest. Okay. After many hard battles, the war with England was finally over, and George Washington and his army won. After the war, they wrote that letter that I told you about, the Declaration of Independence. Remember, that's the letter. We talked about that with the freedoms. They also have the Constitution in there, which has all the laws. So America started to form their own laws, and George Washington was a part of that. And they also wrote the Declaration of Independence, where a bunch of people signed, and he was one of the people that signed. And so when America was like, okay, now it's time for us to pick a leader. We finished with the war. We're moving on from the war. We're going to be our own country now. We need to select a leader, a good leader. Guess who they chose? George Washington. They chose him to become the first president of the country. His nickname is called the father of his country because he was the first president that we've had for our country. So they nicknamed him father of his country. So America, the people, when they had a choice to pick who to lead, they said George Washington would be perfect. He led the army. He led them to victory. He would be perfect for our first president. So George Washington, he's so important that we can see him on the dollar bill. You know, I'm sure you've had a dollar before, and he is who is on the dollar. And not just that, but he's also on the quarter as well. So he's on both. His picture is on both of those. Well, one of those coins and the dollar bill and the quarter. That's where we see George Washington's face. Okay. And that's how they honored him. So let's look at 25 and let's read the little story about the cherry tree. So George Washington did not suddenly become a great person when he was a grown man. He learned to do what was right and tell the truth when he was just a boy. So there's a little story people like to tell about him, and it may not be true, but it's just a story they tell. So one day he had a little hatchet, which is an axe, right? And he tried it out and he cut down a cherry tree. And his father was like, who did this? And George Washington could have told a lie and say, oh, it wasn't me. But instead he told his father the truth and said, Father, it was me. I cut down your tree. So they said because he was an honest person, he learned that from being young. So this is a story that they tell about him. Okay, good. So that's who we're studying this week in social studies, George Washington, the first president, nicknamed the father of his country. Okay, how is that? Good. Good, awesome. Okay, guys, so that is it on today. We've covered everything that we need to cover language. It's just on nouns. It's a review of nouns. You can just practice your definition, person, place, thing, and idea, okay? All right, so that is it for us today. Thank you for joining us on our Zoom. I hope you all have a great day. We do not have a Zoom on tomorrow. We will meet on Wednesday, okay? So I did put a note for your parents, but let them know. So Ms. Fujian said we're not meeting on tomorrow. We have something here at school. So we will have to meet on Wednesday, but you'll have videos to watch, okay? Sounds good? Yeah? All right, have a good day.